In Dandy's world, there are plenty of toons. Some great, while some are kinda trash.
In this video, I'll be ranking all 34 toons from worst to best. Let's jump in.
Before we start, I just want to mention that this is only my opinion. You can have a completely different opinion and disagree with me. This is just what I think. So don't go into the comment section yelling at me for putting your favorite toon low down. This one was probably assumed by all of you. Just look at this guy's stats. They purposefully made him the worst toon in the game. They made him have less stat points than any other toon, and his ability is literally meant to make you die faster. Bully. Stealth is drastically lower than any other toon. Do you want to know how much lower? If Brightney, second lowest stealth in the game, uses an air horn, the Twisteds will still be aggroed on Shrimpo. The only exception is if he's hiding behind a wall. In summary, Shrimpo is literally made to be a challenge, meaning he's the worst toon.
On to number 33. In my opinion, this toon is garbage, I hate it! Sorry, what I meant to say is that this toon isn't very good.
Let's take a look at her stats. 2-star skill check and 3-star extraction. This means she is a slightly below average extractor. Somewhat decent, but not perfect for trying to do machines quickly. So already, not that useful. Now, 2-star movement speed. This makes it almost impossible to be a distractor, which means she can't extract well, nor can she distract well. Two amazing rules thrown out the window. Finally, her stamina and stealth. One out of the two upsides about this toon is her stamina, which partially makes up for the fact that she only has 2-star movement speed, but not by a lot. And her stealth is average, which is fine. The second upside is her ability, which sort of helps, but not by a ton either. Her ability allows her to grapple into machines and toons and pull herself towards them. This isn't too good, considering the fact that her extraction stats aren't very high, meaning it's not really that important to get to machines quickly. And getting to players has almost no use. It only helps for getting away from Twisteds, which I can agree, she's decent at surviving, but not the best. In conclusion, there is no reason to play this toon unless you're grinding for Goob. The only thing she can do is survive, which isn't helpful at all for making a team get further.
Poppy, the epitome of Dandy's World starters. She isn't the best, but not all that bad either.
Her stats are completely average, which means she has no downsides, but also no upsides. She can extract, but not as fast as other toons. Her ability, Panic Pop, makes it so when she gets hit, she gets a speed boost for 3 seconds, making it easier to get away and not get hit twice. This could be helpful in a handful of scenarios. For example, let's say you're getting chased by like 3 Twisteds. If you get hit, you can run away quickly, without the other Twisteds able to catch up to you easily. But this ability is basically made useless if you have a distractor on your team. And it's even more useless if you don't get hit. Poppy is a fine toon to start out with, but not very good compared to others. Alright, Toodles isn't that bad. She isn't ideal to play with, but a good toon to buy after Poppy or Boxten. Her stats are mostly average, other than her extraction and stealth. She has 2 stars in extraction and 3 stars in skill check. So, like Scraps, she isn't amazing for doing machines, but can kinda help. And her stealth means she won't be too big of a problem for distractors too. But her ability is very hit or miss. Her ability, Beginner's Luck, could be good in some scenarios, but also could be useless in others. It gives a boost to a random stat for 10 seconds. Let's say you're extracting a machine. You use your ability and get stealth. Practically useless. But it could also be good in some scenarios. Like if you're getting chased by a Twisted, and you roll speed. Like what just happened here. So, overall, Toodles is not very good, but a decent toon to play as if you're just starting. Out of the 2 starter toons, I think Boxten is the better choice. His stats are the same as Poppy, meaning he can extract, but better than her, because of his ability. His ability, Wind Up, makes it so the more alive people that are in the server, the faster he extracts. So let's say the whole server is full. He would almost have 4.5 stars in extraction speed. That means he can kinda rival V, aka the fastest extractor in the game. But after about 10 floors and people start dying, it becomes more and more useless, especially if you're playing alone. So if you're planning to start Dandy's World, I would highly recommend choosing this toon instead of Poppy. He's pretty good. Okay, hear me out. Rodger is just meh. I personally think he's just boring to play as, along with some downsides. Let's take a look at his stats. He's almost average, just 1 less movement speed and 1 more in extraction, making him a quick extractor and decent for machines, but also pretty bad because of his movement speed. This is the main reason I dislike playing as him.
Now let's talk about the only reason people play as him. Research!
His passive ability, Detective, makes it so all research you earn is double. This is very helpful for trying to get trinkets or mains, but it doesn't really help in an actual match, trying to get far. Overall, Rodger isn't horrible, but not that good either. I just personally don't like playing as him and would rather play as other toons.
Eggson is a decent toon, but worse than lots of other toons on this list. His stats are perfectly average, just like Poppy and Boxten, so there isn't really much to criticize there. But his ability is pretty good. He uses his cane to hit every machine he does, adding a bit of completion. This is honestly pretty good, and really fun if you can get a team of them. There's not much to say about him, because he doesn't do much, but yeah, he's pretty good.
Rudie is another perfectly average toon. He has 3 stars in every stat,
Meaning he can extract pretty well.
but the reason he's above other average extractors is because of his ability. Antler Charge makes it so he gets a very high amount of speed for a very short amount of time, giving him a dash, making it easier to get away from Twisteds. This makes it easy to get to higher floors, meaning he's great at surviving, and if you use the right trinkets, you can even distract. Not very much to say about him. He's a pretty good toon for only costing 300 ornaments,
But it makes sense that he's the cheapest in the Christmas event.
I feel like this is a good spot for Cole. She isn't an amazing distractor, but not horrible either. She's basically if you took the worst parts for distracting from Pebble and Goob and combined them. 4-star movement speed from Goob and 3-star stealth from Pebble. Her other stats are fine though. 2 in extraction speed and skill check, and 4 in stamina. Her ability is also pretty useful, especially for Cosmo or Ginger. Scout. This toon can sniff out items across the map, causing items to be highlighted for all toons for 10 seconds. If there's a healer on your team, this makes it easy for them to find a bandage or medkit if there happens to be one on the floor. Cole is a good teammate to have on your team, especially as a backup distractor or a main distractor if needed. But other distractors on this list would be a better alternative, which is why Cole is so low down.
Also, she's really fat. Seriously, if this ranking was ability, she would take up half of it. Connie is a solid toon. Let's take a look at her stats. 2-star skill check and 4 in extraction. This makes her slightly above average at extracting, but the 2-star skill check is a small issue, but not too big of a deal. Now, her stealth and stamina. Average stamina and 5-star stealth. This is awesome, considering the fact that she has 1 star in movement speed. Although that's pretty bad, her stealth makes sure she somewhat stays out of trouble, and her ability does so as well. Haunting Escape allows her to basically use a smoke bomb. It's very useful, as you can practically get an ultra rare item permanently on a cooldown of 50. This makes it a little easier to get away if you happen to get seen, so that kinda makes up for her movement speed. Connie is a pretty good toon. She's a slightly above average extractor, but it is pretty hard to survive.
In my opinion, this toon is honestly pretty good. They're just forgettable. Their stats are perfectly average, just like Rudie, Poppy, and Boxten, but the cool stuff comes from the ability. Comedy and Tragedy. This toon swaps between movement speed on odd-numbered floors and extraction speed on even-numbered floors. This is honestly so cool. If you're indecisive on what role you should play during your match, just pick R&D. They can distract easily on odd-numbered floors, but extract fast on even-numbered floors. The only downside is on odd floors, you go down to 1 extraction speed, which isn't too big of a problem if you're distracting. And on even-numbered floors, you go down to 1-star movement speed, which is an issue because it makes it very difficult to get away from Twisteds. The other toons with 1-star movement speed, Connie and Shrimpo, have something to justify the 1 star. Connie has an ability which allows her to get away, and Shrimpo is Shrimpo. But R&D has no easy way to get away from Twisteds on even-numbered floors. It's also very difficult to pick a good trinket combo, which is also an issue. So overall, Razzle and Dazzle is pretty good, but also not perfect.
Honestly, Brightney's pretty good. Here's her stats. 3 in skill check and 4 in extraction. This makes her pretty good for extracting machines and getting floors finished fast. Her movement speed is 3 and stamina is 4. Decent stats. But, oh no! Her stealth! That may have been an over-exaggeration. Her stealth honestly isn't that bad, but such a pain for distractors. But if you can distract well and have the right trinkets, you can even distract yourself. I've done it before, and you can distract most non-main Twisteds, other than like Toodles. So if needed, she can be a backup distractor. Finally, her ability. This ability makes blackouts not as scary and difficult. Her ability, Nightlight, makes all Twisteds on the floor highlighted, very similar to V's ability, but only works on blackouts, which makes the usage of this ability very limited, but good when it can be used. Brightney is a solid toon and decent at most roles, just not as good compared to others. Honestly, this toon is pretty good, and really underrated. Her stats aren't that bad, almost average, just 1 less in stealth, and 1 more in stamina. This means it's helpful for getting away from Twisteds. But the best part about this toon is her ability. Tea Time. This toon can use 75 tapes to heal themselves by 1 heart. This is very good for solo runs, or even getting further in general. If you're able to gather tapes quickly, you can practically get infinite heals. This toon doesn't really have any downsides, other than the fact they have 2-star stealth, which doesn't really affect anything other than bothering distractors. But this toon also isn't perfect, since they don't really excel at any skill. They're just average at most of them, so that's why I think they're around the middle. Blot. One of the hardest non-main toons to get. You need to get 15 different toons, Master Poppy, Master Looey, Master Yatta, and pay 3,000 I-Coin. He must be good, right? Wrong! He's not horrible, but not worth it at all. His stats are fine, I guess. Here they are. 5 stars in stamina, 4 stars in movement speed, and 3 stars in stealth. This makes him a pretty good distractor, however, his extraction stats are not that good. With 2 in extraction and 1 in skill check. Compared to his circus troupe friends, Looey and Yatta, both amazing all-rounders, these stats are nowhere close to how good theirs are. When hearing about Blot, I was hoping he would follow in their footsteps. But no, just another about-average distractor. So not much to say about him, other than his ability. It's a decent one. He can spawn a mini clone of himself to distract a Twisted for a little bit. Pretty decent in tight situations, or to help those being chased, but not much useful anywhere else. Blot is a good distractor, but doesn't really show any skill in any other places. Combine that with the fact that he's one of the hardest toons to obtain, makes him perfect for this meme.
Wow, I haven't stubbed my toe in 5 months, I said with joys. I was then shot 57 times.
That's why he's this low down. Next! And then we have Coco, the funny bunny, the sandy dandy bandy who puts out candies. Anyways, here's her stats. 4-star stealth and speed, and 2-star stamina. This makes her not a good distractor, because of her high stealth and low stamina. And her extraction stats aren't too good either. 2-star extraction and 3-star skill check. So she isn't ideal for extracting machines either. So what is she useful for? Well, her ability's pretty good. She can place a bonbon on the ground, free for anyone to pick up and use. This bonbon grants a 25% speed boost and a 50% extraction speed boost. Great for supporting extractors or distractors. And with her high stealth, she can drop it for distractors without getting seen too. Good support, not really good at anything else. On to the next toon. Flutter is a decent distractor, just not the best compared to others. Her stats are identical to Cole, being 4 stars in stamina and movement speed, 3 in stealth, and 2 in extraction and skill check. Meaning, like I said, she's decent, but not perfect compared to other distractors. The only reason I put her above Cole and Blot is because her ability's a lot better for distracting and surviving in general. Floaty Dash makes it so she gets a huge speed boost for less than a second. It's literally Rudie's ability, but better. Because of this ability, she can partially distract faster mains, such as Pebble and Bobette, but only partially. She'll need to take a break to let her stamina and ability recharge. Flutter is a pretty good toon for distracting, but not the best for extracting. Next placement. This may come as a shock to lots of you, but I think Bobette's the worst main, and worse than quite a bit of non-mains too. In my opinion, Bobette isn't very good. Sure, she can help with extracting because of her 4-star skill check and 2-star extraction speed, her 5-star stamina helps, and she doesn't have too many downsides. But for a main, mains are supposed to be the best of the bunch, but this doesn't really feel that worthy. Also, her abilities aren't really that good either. Her active, Precious Packaging, makes up for her stealth, since if you use it, you package yourself up in a box, allowing distracteds to get the Twisteds off you easier. It's basically Connie's ability, but a little better. But her passive, Festivora, is honestly kind of bad. It'll give a 50% stamina boost to anyone in the radius, but it has a fairly small one. And trying to help distractors distract fast Twisteds definitely won't work because of her stealth. And the 50% boost doesn't even feel like that much. It's basically Astro's active, but way worse. Overall, Bobette is not worthy of being in a main, and should be buffed or be demoted to a non-main. She's also fat. Finn is honestly really good. He's a pretty underrated toon. His stats are pretty good for being easy to get. 4-star skill check and 3-star in extraction speed. This means he's a pretty good extractor. Above average. Pretty good. His stamina is 2, and 3 in stealth and speed. So his stats are pretty good for an extractor. His ability is also pretty decent. Every time a machine is done, he gets a 33% movement speed boost for 10 seconds. This is actually very good, especially if you're in a lobby with lots of people, doing machines all the time. There isn't really much to say about this toon. They're just a pretty good extractor with a pretty good ability. I just find other toons better than this one. On to the next toon. Oh, Glisten. Our favorite egotistical shiny mirror. He's also a pretty underrated toon. I personally don't play as him often, but I still feel like he could be good in most cases. Let's take a look at his stats. 2 stars in skill check and 5 in extraction speed. This makes him an above average extractor, which means he can help with machines quite a bit. The only downside is the 2-star stealth, which like I said in the past, it isn't really too big of a deal, other than the fact it might bug distractors. And the other stats are just average. Finally, let's look at his ability. Reflection is basically Scraft's ability, but a lot more versatile and easy to use. You don't even need line of sight. It only works on players though. Some other downsides to Glisten's ability is the long cooldown, being 100 seconds, and the confused debuff once you teleport, which won't really affect anything because you're not going to be teleporting to someone to do a machine. He's probably one of the best non-main toons, solely focused on extraction. Overall, Glisten's a pretty good toon. Brusha, one of the newest toons. She's a paintbrush, which makes her... Oh my gosh, is that Bob Ross?! This toon is really good and pretty fun to play as. Her stats are average other than skill check and stealth, having 4 and 2 stars in those stats respectively, making her decent at extracting. Already, these stats are pretty good. Not amazing or anything, but decent. The stealth could be a small issue for distractors, but it's not really that bad. Now, her ability. It's a new type of ability called Toggle, which means she can turn on or off her ability with a 5-second cooldown. The ability itself is as follows. Enter Painting Mode to inspire nearby toons, giving them a 50% skill check boost for 10 seconds. This toon is 25% slower in Painting Mode. This is a really good ability. It's purely a support ability, but a good one at that. The fact that it gives the boost to anyone in a range means you can give it to multiple people at a time. Or if you have multiple Brushas, it practically doubles the effectiveness. Brusha is a great toon, but some toons on this list are just overall better, which is why she's 15th. Astro. He's actually very good. His stats are pretty balanced, and his active is pretty helpful. Let's take a look. His extraction speed and skill check are slightly below average. Not ideal for doing machines, but not horrible. The rest is just average, other than his stealth, which is 5 stars, and helps a ton in lots of scenarios. Something that Astro excels at is helping distractors, because of his active. His active allows him to fully replenish the stamina of everyone who's around him. Now, let's say a Pebble is struggling to distract a few mates, and is low on stamina. Boom! Astro to the rescue. Astro can just sneak in with his high stealth, replenish the Pebble's stamina, and get out of there. He can also help with anyone that's struggling to make it to the elevator on time. Let's say there's a couple seconds left, and a Rodger can't make it to the elevator in time because of his stamina. Astro runs out, heals his stamina, gets back in, and Rodger gets to live another day. And his passive just makes it so his stamina regenerates 50% faster. Astro is a very good toon, and helpful at supporting in a handful of scenarios, but not good at anything else. Bassie, an extremely unique toon. This toon is really fun to play as. Let's jump right into her stats. 1-star skill check and 2-star extraction speed. A bad extractor, but 5-star movement speed and 4-star stamina and stealth. This would be an amazing distractor if the stealth wasn't an issue. A decent backup distractor though, as long as she distracts in a secluded area where nobody will run into. But her main usage is from her abilities. She has 4 inventory slots and can drop items. Wow! These are really fun abilities. Honestly, a good toon to have on a team. She can run around the map quickly, picking up any important items like heals or stamina items, then goes to whoever needs it, like Cosmo for heals and distractors for the stamina items. Like a collector. A drinking combo I like to use on her is Vanity Mirror and Whispering Flower. In panic mode, she can zoom around the map, finding any leftover items. Pretty decent. I like this toon for her abilities, and she's really good at her expertise, but everything else is almost impossible to do effectively with her. This little silly goober is pretty good. He's clearly a distractor. Here's his stats. 4-star speed and stamina, 2-star stealth, 3 in skill check, and 2 in extraction. Like I said, he's built to be a distractor, and he does very well at that. His movement speed's a slight setback, making it difficult to distract some faster twisteds, but not too big of a deal. And his stealth is the main reason lots of people use him for distracting, instead of others, like Pebble, because more times than not, he will keep aggro from the twisteds. And if needed, he can semi-extract, because he's only slightly below average. His ability helps a ton in panic mode too. His ability allows him to use his stretchy arms to pull other toons towards him. This means that if he can get into the elevator quickly, he can pull anyone who can't make it there in time, like slow toons. There isn't much to say about Goob, other than he's a very good alternative distractor if you can't use Pebble. Just don't use him in a solo run. Then we got Flyte, the older brother of Flutter. He's an amazing all-rounder, able to do any of the roles because of his good stats. Here they are, 4-star movement speed and 3-star stealth and 2-star stamina. This makes him a decent distractor. He doesn't really excel at it, but he can do it if needed. His 4-star extraction speed and 2-star skill check means he can also do machines relatively quickly, which is also a big plus. He can even do support too, with his ability. Gust makes it so when used, he places down a gust of wind for 10 seconds that gives a 15% speed boost to whoever walks on it. This is really great for getting away from twisteds or distracting. Really nothing bad about this toon, but it doesn't really excel at anything. Man, this toon is just great. Just look at her stats. 4-star skill check and 2-star extraction. This means she's a slightly above average extractor, meaning she can extract well. 4-star movement speed, which means she can distract too, and her ability, Tidy Up, makes everyone around her faster, which counts as support. This toon can fill in any of the roles, which means she's just an overall great toon. Although this ranking doesn't really consider price, I just have to give an exception to Tisha. Seriously, only 500 I-Core? That's literally so cheap, meaning new players can experience this greatness too. Every time someone I know starts playing Dandy's World, I always suggest Tisha to them. It's an affordable toon with amazing stats and a decent ability. She's just a generally good all-rounder. Nothing much to say. Cosmo. He's just so good to have on a team. He can help teams get further and beat hard floors. His stats are pretty wonky though. Let's take a look. 3 stars in extraction speed and 1-star skill check. This makes him less than ideal for extraction. His stamina and stealth aren't that bad though. It's 4 stars in each. Pretty good. But the main thing that makes Cosmo above all these other toons is his amazing ability. Sharing is caring allows him to heal anyone he wants, taking from one of his hearts. This is amazing! To boost this even more, give all the medkits to him, and he can heal tons of people. This is very helpful for people who get hit a lot, because then a Cosmo can just come and heal you and use a bandage or medkit. There isn't much to this toon, just the fact that he can heal. That's it. But that one thing is very good. In my opinion, Ginger is basically just a better Cosmo. They're practically the same. There are just some very small differences. For example, Ginger has a little less stamina and movement speed, but these go into skill check, which makes her better at extracting and makes her stats more balanced. And some of you may say that the less movement speed makes it harder to not lose hearts, potentially making it so you can't heal. But I personally think it might be worth it, especially if you have a distractor on your team dealing with the twisteds, and on top of your stealth, it's not an issue. Another difference from Ginger and Cosmo is that Ginger has a longer range on her ability compared to Cosmo, but she also has a longer cooldown by 40 seconds, which is kinda bad, but not too big of a deal unless lots of people get hit. So yeah, I think Ginger is basically just a better Cosmo, but only by a bit, since they're basically the same toon.
Let's go gambling!
Gigi is a really good toon, and decent for this placement. Her stats are really good, being 5 stars in skill check and 3 stars in extraction speed. This makes her incredibly fast at doing machines. Her stamina is 1, and stealth and speed is 3. Already a great toon. Her stamina might be a little bit of a setback, but it's manageable. But she's even better because of her ability. Surprise gives her a completely random item. So you could get something bad, or you could get something amazing, like a medkit, bandage, or an ultra rare item. Gigi is very fun to play as, especially paired with the trinket combo with bone in it, because whenever you use your ability, you technically pick up an item and get a speed boost. Very helpful because of her low stamina. Personally, this trinket's helped me get away from some twisters with ease. So yeah, I think Gigi's a really fun and great toon for mid-game. Next placement is Looey. Looey is a great distractor, and an above average extractor too. Here's his stats. 4-star skill check and 3 stars in extraction. Meaning, like I said, he's an above average extractor, and can do machines fairly quickly. 3-star movement speed, 2-star stealth, and 3-star stamina. So you may be wondering, how is he a distractor? Well, it's because of his ability, which makes it so every time he gets hit, he gets 20% more movement speed. Which means if you get to 1 heart, you can have a little bit above 5-star movement speed, and 2-star stealth, which is absolutely perfect for a distractor. The high speed means you can outwalk almost every Twisted, and the 2-star stealth means he'll keep the Twisteds on you most of the time. The only downside is that he has a high risk of dying, because if you want all that, you're gonna need to be at 1 heart. But if you're good, you can pull it off and bring your team far. And if you're worried you'll die because of distracting, just extract. He excels at that too, because of his good extraction stats. Looey is a great toon. Wow, Yatta. What a toon! Let's just dive right into her stats. 3-star skill check and 5-star extraction. This means she's super fast at doing machines, and can rival top extractors such as Shelly or V. Now, her 4-star speed, 2-star stealth, and 1-star stamina. This means she can distract decently. Her stamina is kinda a setback, but not really too big of an issue. And finally, her ability. This is a pretty creative and unique one. Pinata Party makes it so that when Yatta finishes a machine, she drops 2 candy items, such as chocolate, speed candy, skill check candy, and even a box of chocolates. And when she gets hit, it drops 4 candy items instead. These items are useful in some scenarios, but also not in others. Let's say you finish the last machine. You drop a speed candy and you can get to the elevator faster, if you use it. It could even drop a box of chocolates too, which is just handy to have, but could also drop bad items like stealth candies. The only reason this toon isn't closer to the top is just because her ability could be better. Overall, Yatta is a very solid toon and fairly easy to get. She can distract pretty well, can extract even better, and can kinda support with her ability. If you can, I would highly suggest getting it. A great all-rounder. Pebble. A toon every public lobby relies on, because he's a great distractor. He excels at it, and I think he's the best one in the game. Pebble's stats are pretty good for a distractor. 3 stars in skill check and 1 star in extraction, which means he's pretty slow at extracting, which most people won't be doing as Pebble anyways. 5-star movement speed, and 4 stars in stamina. This makes it very easy to distract most Twisted. The only reason I put him slightly above Looey is just because there is a lot less risk. Since if Looey's at 1 heart, 1 hit and you're done. But Pebble can be 5-star movement speed and have 2 hearts, which in my opinion is probably more worth it, especially if you have a healer on your team. The only downside to this toon would be his 3-star stealth, which isn't too big of an issue because of his first ability. Speak makes it so that when activated, his stealth is lowered to -50 and alerts all nearby Twisteds to his location. This makes rounding up Twisteds fairly easy, and taking back aggro easy as well. His second ability, Fetch, makes it so that he can sense all the items in his vicinity, which is very helpful. Pebble is just a good distractor and carries longer runs to far floors, but not really good at any other. Time for the top 3. V. She's just generally good. Very helpful for a team. Her stats are pretty good, especially skill check and extraction. 4 and 5 stars? That's top level extractor stats. The only downside is her 2-star stealth and speed, which are kinda difficult to deal with, but isn't too big of an issue. I personally think it's worth it because of these crazy extraction stats. Now, on to her abilities. Her first one, Mic Check, highlights all Twisteds on the map for a few seconds. Very helpful for distractors for finding the Twisteds to get to distracting, or to know what Twisteds are on the floor. Her second ability, Camera Hijack, highlights the 2 closest non-completed machines, and if someone's doing the machine, it's highlighted in white instead of green. This makes it very helpful for those moments like, where's this last machine? V knows where it is at all times. Overall, V is a really great toon, and would probably make your Dandy's World experience way better. Man, this toon is just so fun to play as, and really good for a team too. His stats are decent. His extraction stats aren't the greatest, being 2 in each, but his other stats make up for it. His movement speed is 4, and stamina is 5. This means he's a pretty good choice for a distractor, mainly as a backup, but if needed, he can distract. His stealth is average too, which isn't very big of a deal. His abilities are where the real fun begins though. First ability, Baked Sweets. This is basically just Cosmo's ability, but with less sacrifice. You just need 100 tapes, and you can heal someone. The amount will go up by 50 per sprout in the run. If your teammates save the tapes for you, you can gather lots of tapes quickly, which means lots of heals. His second ability, Overprotective, lets him see where all the alive toons currently are, along with how many hearts they have. This is really good in 2 ways. 1, it's useful to find out who's low, and who needs healing. And 2, if you're distracted, you can tell who's in the elevator, so you can know when to get there. Also, with his 5-star stamina, he's really good with the treadmill machines. Sprout is just a generally fun and amazing toon, but, in my opinion, the toon at number 1, I find better by just a bit. This toon seems like a fan favorite in the community, and for a good reason. This toon is very fun to play as, and just as good for a team. Here's her great stats. 5-star skill check, and 3 stars in extraction. And average stats other than her 2-star stamina. This means she can extract pretty quickly if paired with the right trinkets, and one of the fastest extractors in the game. And the reason I think she's better than V is just because of her survivability. V has 2-star stealth and 2-star movement speed, making it very difficult to live, but the incredible extraction sets make up for it. But for Shelly, she has decent survivability and fast extraction, and her abilities are good and fun too. Her first one, Inspiration, gives the targeted toon a 75% extraction speed boost, meaning that not only can she extract quickly, she can boost others to do the same. Her second ability, Problem Solver, is good for getting from machine to machine. It gives you a 25% speed boost after any machine is completed for 10 seconds, which is really useful and fun when like 5 machines are completed at once. In conclusion, I think Shelly is the best toon in Dandy's World, but only by a bit. Tons of other toons are great too, depending on your playstyle. I just find Shelly is a generally good toon and fun to play with. Well, that's been my Dandy's World toon ranking. Thank you for watching, and do you agree with me? Leave respectful notes and thoughts down in the comments about what you would have changed if you made a ranking. This video took a crazy amount of time to make, so if you enjoyed it, please leave a like on it, and maybe you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye bye!
I died!